He had been checking bags at Denver International Airport for 8 years. Always the same routine, always the same quiet smile for passengers. Security supervisor called him Reliable Robert because he never missed a day, never caused drama, just did his job. But when the X-ray machine showed something that made everyone else freeze, Robert calmly walked to the suspicious package and said 5 words that changed everything. "Everyone evacuate. I will handle this." Because 20 years ago, he had handled much worse in Iraq. Welcome to One Human, One Story. Before we continue with this powerful story of hidden expertise and unexpected heroism, have you ever encountered someone who worked in an ordinary job, but actually had perfect level technical skills as a security officer? Let us know in the comments. And if you believe stories like this need to be heard, hit that subscribe button and help us honor those who were never meant to be forgotten. Denver International Airport was one of America's largest airports, an average of 190,000 passengers daily, 1,500 flights, thousands of bags and packages, and hundreds of TSA officers ensuring the security of all this. Robert Martinez was one of them. He had been working in the same position for 8 years, Terminal B Security Checkpoint 3. Every morning he came to work at 4 a.m., left at noon, 12 p.m., 8 hours of the same routine. X-ray machine, metal detector, bag inspection. Robert's colleagues had called him Reliable Robert because he had never been late to work, never taken a sick day, never complained. He just did his job quietly. Passengers didn't even notice Robert. To them, he was just someone in uniform who checked their bags, an ordinary security officer. Remove your shoes, take out metals from your pockets, put electronic devices separately. Same sentences every day, same procedures. Robert's supervisor, Janet Williams, liked him very much. "My most reliable guy," she would say. "Never causes problems, does his job perfectly, never complains." Other TSA officers found Robert a bit boring. He never joined social activities, sat alone during breaks, never shared personal stories. Like a robot, they would say, as if he only lives for work. But nobody knew who Robert really was. Robert Martinez had once lived under a different name. Staff Sergeant Roberto Martinez, U.S. Army, 89th Explosive Ordnance Disposal Company. An EOD specialist who had served 3 tours in Iraq, defused over 200 bombs, saved dozens of soldiers' lives. EOD, Explosive Ordnance Disposal, one of the world's most dangerous jobs. One mistake meant death. And Robert had worked in this job for 12 years, until that last operation, 2006 Fallujah. Robert's team had responded to a roadside bomb call. It seemed routine, but the bomb wasn't routine. Dual mechanism motion activated, extremely complex. The bomb exploded while Robert was trying to disarm it. 3 team members died. Robert survived but was seriously injured. Permanent damage in his left ear nerve, damage in his right hand, and PTSD. Robert left EOD after that day, left the Army, and never told anyone about his past. He moved to Denver, found a job at TSA, tried to build a quiet life. But bomb disposal skills never disappeared. He had muscle memory. His eyes could still recognize suspicious packages, abnormal wires, explosive components. But he didn't tell anyone this. November 23rd, 2024, Saturday morning. Thanksgiving weekend was starting, and the airport was more crowded than usual. Robert had come to work at 4, taken his position at 4:30. The X-ray operator was Sarah Chen. Young, experienced, careful. Robert worked well with her. When Sarah saw something abnormal, she would call Robert. They would examine it together. At 7:15 in the morning, the first suspicious bag came. A young man's backpack. Inside, laptop, books, clothes. It looked normal, but Sarah had felt something strange. "Robert, look at this," said Sarah. "The back of the laptop looks weird." Robert looked at the X-ray screen. The laptop really did look strange. There was abnormal thickness in the back cover, and the cables didn't look like normal laptop cables. "Let's do manual inspection," said Robert. They pulled the young man aside. Michael Johnson, 22 years old, University of Colorado student. He looked nervous, but most passengers were nervous at security control. "Can we open your bag?" said Robert politely. "Sure, no problem." Robert took out the laptop. It looked normal from outside, but the weight was wrong. Too heavy, and there was a small screw difference at the bottom. Robert's pulse quickened. Old reflexes kicked in. "Can you wait a minute?" he said to Michael. Then he turned to Sarah. "Call supervisor, now." Sarah heard the urgency in Robert's voice. She had never heard him speak like this. Supervisor Janet Williams came. "What's the problem, Robert?" Robert whispered. "This laptop is modified. There are additional components inside. We might need to call EOD." Janet was surprised. "EOD? How do you know?" Robert hesitated. "Experience." Janet was uncertain. If a false alarm was given, it would be a big problem. But security was more important than anything. "Are you sure, Robert?" Robert examined the laptop again. A very thin cable was coming out from inside the back cover going to the battery section. And the battery wasn't a normal laptop battery. Lithium-ion, but in a different configuration. Robert's heart beat faster. He had seen this pattern before. In Iraq. IED, improvised explosive device pattern. "Yes, I am sure. This could be an IED." Janet immediately took action. "I am starting terminal evacuation, calling EOD team." But Robert stopped. "Janet, EOD team will take 45 minutes to arrive. During this time, the suspicious device could become active. Let me look." "You are not EOD, Robert." Robert thought for a long time, then told the truth. "Actually, I was EOD. 12 years. I defused 200 bombs in Iraq." Janet's mouth fell open. "I will handle this," said Robert. "But first, evacuate everyone." Janet was uncertain, but there was no time. "Okay, but be careful." Terminal B's security section was evacuated. Passengers were moved away. Only Robert, Janet, and an EOD technician remained. Robert began carefully examining the laptop. Old skills were coming back. After 12 years, his hands still knew what to do. He opened the laptop's back cover. There really was an additional component inside. Plastic explosive, a C4-like substance, and timer circuit. Digital timer showing 47 minutes. Robert's breath caught. This was an active bomb, and it would explode in 47 minutes. "Janet," he called. "This is a real bomb. 47-minute timer. Evacuate the entire terminal, now." Janet took action without panicking. The entire terminal was evacuated. Thousands of passengers, hundreds of employees. The terminal was emptied in 20 minutes. Robert was left alone. Just him and the bomb. Old training came back. Stay calm, analyze, plan, execute. He examined the bomb structure. Timer circuit was connected to main battery, but there was also backup power source. If he cut the main battery, backup might kick in. He examined the wires. Red, black, blue, white. Not standard configuration. This was a custom-made bomb. Robert's hands began to tremble. PTSD symptoms. But he did deep breathing. Focused. Minutes had passed. 32 minutes left. Robert analyzed the wire pattern. Red wire to timer, black wire to explosive, blue wire to backup power, white wire to trigger mechanism. He needed to know which wire to cut. Wrong wire meant instant detonation. Robert recognized the pattern. This resembled bomb design he had seen in Iraq, Al-Qaeda style. He needed to cut the white wire. But he wasn't sure what minutes had passed. 27 minutes left. Robert talked to EOD team via radio. Denver Police EOD Specialist Detective Mike Brady described the wire configuration, said Mike. Robert described the details. Mike analyzed. Cut the white wire, but first, isolate backup power. Robert found the blue wire, disconnected the backup battery, then focused on the white wire. He had wire cutters in his hand, his old tool, first time using it after 12 years. Minutes left. Robert held the wire, took a deep breath, remembered his friends in Fallujah. He was doing this for them. He cut the wire. The timer stopped. The bomb was disarmed. Robert collapsed. 12 years of tension released all at once. He began to cry. Minutes later, the terminal was declared safe. Passengers returned. But Robert's story had spread. FBI came. Homeland Security came. Media came. Michael Johnson was arrested. He was a domestic terrorist. He had planned to bomb Denver Airport on Thanksgiving Day. Robert was declared a hero. But he didn't want this. Supervisor Janet Williams called Robert to her office. "Robert, why didn't you ever tell us about your EOD background?" Robert thought. "Because I wanted to leave that life behind. But today I had to do it for my friends. Your friends. My friends who died in Fallujah, for their memory." Janet understood. The following days changed Robert's life. TSA promoted him, offered security specialist position. Media wanted interviews. But Robert wanted something simple, to stay in the same position, work with the same routine, just keep people safe. Why ask Janet? Because real heroism is doing your daily job in the best way. I am just a security officer, and that is enough. Today, Robert Martinez still works at Denver International Airport. Same position, same shift. But nobody calls him ordinary security officer anymore, because sometimes the greatest heroes work in the most ordinary jobs. And sometimes the greatest courage is using your past to do your present duty. And Robert's X-ray machine still scans suspicious packages, because experience never disappears. It just waits quietly until the moment it is needed. This story shows us that powerful experiences are hidden in every person's past. Sometimes the greatest expertise is hidden in the most ordinary-looking jobs. And sometimes one moment's decision can save thousands of lives. I ask you, have you ever encountered someone who worked in an ordinary job, but actually had perfect level technical skills as a security officer? Did their hidden expertise surprise you? Share in the comments. Because here at One Human, One Story, we believe that every person has a powerful story inside, and these stories can save lives. Thank you for watching. If this story touched you, subscribe and help us spread the stories of hidden heroes. We will see you in the next story. And until then, remember, sometimes the greatest expertise is saved for the most ordinary moments.